3. How to successfully suppress your emotions. Step 1. Distraction. Engage in activities that require focus, such as puzzles, reading, or physical exercise, to take your mind off your emotions. Number 2. Cognitive reframing. Shift your perspective by rationalizing the situation. Ask yourself if your emotional response is proportional to the event or if you can view things more objectively. Step 3. Breathing techniques. Slow, controlled breathing can help suppress the immediate intensity of emotions. Deep breathing exercises can calm the body and reduce emotional arousal. Number 4, tension control. Focus on physical relaxation, releasing tension in your muscles. Sometimes emotions manifest as physical sensations, so controlling physical tension can help manage them. I'll get more on that later. Step 5. Temporary ignoring emotions. Mentally tell yourself to postpone your emotional response until later. Now, number 4, tension control. Um, Once you become mindful, um, you'll know like exactly when there's cortisol in your body. And just when you become more used to feeling it, being more aware of it, it's amazing what you can make your body aware of when you try to. So yeah, avoidance. Compartmentalization, that's another good one. Mentally box up your feelings and put them aside. Tell yourself you'll deal with them later, but don't actually. So, like I said, these emotions, these feelings, they can manifest physically. And when you can control where these, like, I get it in my shoulders, right? But you can just push it down. Push it down. And you can feel the excitations going deeper and deeper. And then you can, okay. And then, like, just lie to yourself. Just say, I'll think about that when it's appropriate. But then don't. And then you might be able to forget about it. Physical suppression. Control your body language. When you feel upset, consciously relax your face, maintain a neutral expression, and avoid any signs of emotional reaction. An exercise I like to do is facial twitching. So, like, you know how they say you can make yourself feel better by smiling because of the associations? Well, when I'm having feelings, I don't like them, by the way. So when I'm feeling them, I like to do all kinds of weird things with my face. Surprised, angry, happy, upset. And then you don't know what the heck is going on in your face and your brain, and soon you won't even remember what the hell you're even thinking about. Rationalize everything. Talk yourself out of feeling things. Turn every emotional experience into a logical problem to solve. If you feel sad, convince yourself it's unreasonable or unnecessary. I can't really think of a good example. Yeah, lie to yourself. Just say you're not feeling whatever you're feeling. What is in my eye? Yeah, you can gaslight yourself. It's not illegal. Numbing strategy. Some people rely on alcohol, overeating, or undersleeping to dull their emotional response. This very effective. Um, One strategy that can be either a hit or miss is psychedelics. You can do like drop some acid, eat some mushrooms. There's like a 50-50 chance you'll either like forget what you were thinking about, but there is the possibility that that's the only thing you'll think about, and it can be harder to control these feelings, these emotions. Um, that's why I like to like small doses. Take a small dose, distract yourself, think about other stuff, and then once the distraction is working, take a higher dose, more distraction, higher dose, and eventually you'll just be in another universe, hopefully. Um, Stay busy. Shut down conversations. If someone asks you how you're feeling, give short, non-committal answers like "I'm fine" or "nothing's wrong." Keep people from probing into your emotional state. Dude, that is probably the best advice I can give you. In fact, avoiding people altogether is a very effective strategy. I was at work and one of my coworkers was asking me, "Oh, you ever have kids?" And uh, I did, but they died. And before my coworker had asked me, I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't. But then my coworker asked me about it and reminded me. And yeah, it's been more than a year. I've had to redo all these strategies. So when they talk about like triggering stuff like PTSD, things that can trigger you into thinking is actually just conversation, just everyday conversation. People just asking you, "Hey, what did you do last weekend?" If that can be so, yeah. Just avoid talking to people. I hate talking to people. Emotional detachment. Practice distancing yourself from people and situations that trigger emotions. Avoid close relationships or emotionally charged situations as much as possible. Yeah. If I'm feeling things, if I'm having emotions, I like to just I like to think that I'm like an alien in like another Milky Way galaxy, because it's like you don't really think about the problems far away. I mean, you try to. I do, but there is something to be said about that. You can't, although it is a good attitude to have, that we are responsible for everything. We are responsible for all the suffering in the world. Like, we know there's suffering, and we know there's stuff to do about it. But if you get overwhelmed, um, just pretend you don't exist. Just pretend you're something else. Meditation for detachment. Some people use mindfulness or meditation not to process emotions, but to detach from them completely. Focus on emptying your mind and avoiding any emotional attachment to thoughts. Yeah, just don't think. It's very easy. Very easy. suppressed through sleep. When overwhelmed, you might find it useful to just sleep it off. It won't deal with the emotions, but it can put them on pause for a while. Yeah, just like delaying is very good. You can just delay so this is you going through life, your emotions trying to catch up. You have to outpace them. You have to outpace them. You don't, because if they catch up with you, bad things. You can't. You gotta stay ahead of them. Another thing is this is actually sometimes helpful too. Overthinking. Analyze every little detail of your emotions until they don't make sense anymore. If you over intellectualize what you're feeling, sometimes it becomes easier to suppress them altogether. Right? Just remind yourself they're not real. Your feelings, your emotions, they're not real. You can't touch them. You can't take them. Avoid triggers. If certain people or places make you feel something, simply avoid them. Anything. If you feel, I hate feeling, what's the word? Joy, happiness, those things. I hate those things. Because it's like, I'm sure you know. I don't have to explain. I hate feeling happy because you're like, this is gonna end. I'm feeling, or you feel guilty. I feel guilty when I'm happy because I know there's so many other people in the world suffering. So like, how can I be happy knowing there's so much suffering in the world? I can't. So I try. So it's not only good to suppress the bad emotions, but the good ones too. Things that feel good in the short term, like happiness, joy, um, avoid those, cause you want to be numb overall, because you can't feel some things. You can't just ignore the good but have the bad. You have to ignore and suppress everything. So, which is gonna sound weird. It's like I can be sad and happy, or I can be neither. But it's like they both cancel out. Cause like if you're sad, you're already not happy. So if you just suppress them both, you feel nothing. Use humor as a defense. Laugh things off even when you're hurt. Deflect serious conversations with jokes or sarcasm so you don't have to deal with emotional discomfort. That is the best, and that can help with the step of avoiding conversation. Like if somebody asks you like how you're feeling, you don't tell them how you're actually feeling. What the fuck? Just lie. Make a joke. Um yeah. Suppress. Don't feel, forget, ignore, gaslight. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.